What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a pretty unsurprising thing, at least to me. It's being reported on as like massive news, and I do see some people kind of caught off guard, but want to talk a little bit about it. Battlefield 6 seemingly skipping last-gen consoles. Now, I say seemingly because it's not 1,000% confirmed, but if you go to like wish list it, if you go on a couple different websites, including I think Battlefield's own like EA website, there's a lot of hints. I think it leads you to, when you try to do it on Xbox, you can actually look at the bottom and see that it says like playable on Series S and X and not Xbox One. PlayStation, same thing. I think that's only to PS5, and so this is a current gen game. Now, it really shouldn't even be more than that. You should really be able to end the report, just saying that. But, why is this a big deal? I will say I probably think it's a big deal because of Call of Duty. And I forgot about this, but then I was like, okay, well, why is it such a big deal? Call of Duty Black Ops 7 that comes out this fall is still releasing on PS4 and Xbox One. Look, I'm far past the point of caring about releasing games on last gen. I very, very early talked about several games that I think should have been current gen exclusives and left last gen behind. And it's as simple, well, it's actually a couple different things. I guess they're all kind of simple, but it's a few things. One, if you're going to push these next gen consoles on us, can you please, for the love of God, give us a reason to play on them? And that was a big thing for me in the beginning, in the first 2 years, which it's controversial to release a only next gen console game in the first couple years, let's say, right? Because not everybody has upgraded, but still, like, they're very expensive. They want you to play on PS5, and I mean, yeah, that's separate from EA, okay? EA doesn't necessarily, but, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, these are companies that are selling next-gen consoles for very high prices of money. They want you to play them, and yet you get next to nothing that's exclusive specifically for them. So I had a big problem with that in the beginning, but also, it's still simple, but kind of a separate thing. The more places you put a game out on, the more resources that takes from you, whether it's servers, whether it's people, literal people that have to make the game work on 8 different platforms. And then for a thing like Battlefield, so heavy in the multiplayer, so heavy for the Battle Royale that rumor has it might actually come after the game comes out. These are things that if you have it released on 7, 8 different places, now you got to make them all be able to communicate with each other. On top of, if you want this game to have that ultimate destruction that trailer very clearly showed, they're going for destruction, right? You think that's going to run on a 13-year-old like however old these things are? You want it to run on the Switch 1 as well? Like, it's not going to happen. And to me, it never was. It made absolutely no sense to release this game on PS4 and Xbox One. There are people that have never jumped over to the next-gen consoles, but at some point, you gotta leave them behind. And they can always play those games. I'm huge into that. I'm huge into preservation. I have basically an entire channel dedicated to it. So I believe in that stuff. But if you're never going to upgrade from a PS4 ever in your life, then why should games always be tailored to it? Doesn't make sense. The thing will eventually be 15 years old, and it's not going to be able to freaking run Battlefield 6 unless it wants to sound like a plane engine taking off, right? And even that, I mean, many games sound like that on a PS4. What happens when the thing eventually just explodes? So it never made sense to me. I had always just assumed it was a next-gen only thing. I mean, look, this fall, like a month after Battlefield 6 comes out, it'll be 5 years that we've had. We are closer to the end than the beginning. We are closer to the PS6 and the next Xbox than we were to the end of the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to just say, hey, 5 years in, I think these things can have their own exclusives. And it's not even just console, like PlayStation versus Xbox. No, just have games that only are played on this. You have hundreds of millions if you combine them. PlayStation, Xbox. Battlefield doesn't seem to be coming out on Switch 2. That one's a tough one because like the Switch 2 has always been kind of compared to like PS4 Pro-ish era or level. And it's like, well, you might need a little bit more. Like, where does the Series S fall, right? Like, how powerful is that compared to the PS4 Pro? Maybe eventually it comes out on Switch 2. I wouldn't be shocked if it never came out on Switch 2. I think most people, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, that would cover a lot of the people that are going to get this game. So I'm not shocked, and I'm certainly not mad. I think it's people in the different kind of wars like Call of Duty versus Battlefield, which is probably just as funny as PlayStation versus Xbox. I just don't pay attention to it as much as I do the other stuff, but I think it's mainly them, and it's like, Jesus, I don't know why Call of Duty's doing it. I don't know why sports games still do it. Well, you do understand. It's to keep that 30% of people that are still playing on those consoles, right? It's to keep, because that could be a couple 10 million people and maybe 2 million buy it, right? I mean, you think about Battlefield, how many people are they missing out on by not releasing it? You could argue they're missing out on 1 million or 2. And you know what? That's not important. That's not insignificant. That's a lot of potential money. But at some point, you have to just keep going. And it's like those people, you know what? If they want to play Battlefield 6, firstly, make a good game. Make a good Battlefield 6. Make one that makes people want to get it. And you know what happens from that? Not only do people buy the game, but maybe this is a game that they say, okay, I'm going to upgrade the system for. People do it all the time. People upgrade it for Spider-Man or Halos, in the years past. Like, people will upgrade for all sorts of things, and they could absolutely upgrade. People got PlayStations just for Hogwarts Legacy, just for Black Myth Wukong. Like, people will do that if the game is speaks to them. And so Battlefield could do that if it's good enough. So I would focus on that. Focus on making Battlefield 6 good, and who cares about the people that you're left behind, because hopefully they will follow you. That should be the mentality. What I just said, you don't want to say, screw those people. You hope that those people will follow you, and you have to give them a reason to follow you. So that's kind of what it's all about. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.